Some men are worried that if they are too emotional, women won't want to be sexual with them. Are they right to have that fear,
no,
do you think?
obviously not. Sorry, that's so sad.
No.
No?
No. No, I don't think so.
No?
No. In my opinion, it's not something they should worry about it.
In my experience, I can see where they're coming from, all right.
Maybe if it's an issue, then the girl is not the right one.
Women like a sensitive man who is emotionally open rather than being emotionally closed and not letting anybody in.
If they're in like a really deep relationship, like you've been together for like years, then I think that they should be more in touch with their emotions 100%. But if you've only known them for a couple of months and they're just sleeping with each other, then I think it would be a bit like, woo, if they were really emotional. But I think no, yeah, men should definitely be equal level of emotions.
Being primarily emotional creatures, women are not pleased if they find out that their male partner is more emotional than they are. If their boyfriend is constantly sobbing, just racked with fears and insecurities and always wanting to talk about his feelings, women are not going to be attracted to that. And why would they be? Women are already plenty emotional. They're not looking to get into a partnership with someone just like them. They're looking to somebody who's going to be a teammate, someone who can provide strengths in the areas that they lack. This is why women are attracted to men who have the characteristics of logic, structure, leadership. She's looking for someone who's masculine to complement her femininity. Now that's all well and good, but as we know, men are not one-dimensional beings. We are emotional as well. We have feelings, we have fears, we have insecurities, we have all of the vulnerabilities that women do. We might not be as comfortable sharing our emotions as women are, but that doesn't mean that it's any less important a part of our identity. Now, some people think that today's men are too soft, and in a lot of ways, I agree with them. Men have become too feminine. But one area that I really applaud the progress that has been made is in the area of male mental health. I'm not saying that there's not further that we can go, but I think that it's fantastic that we have destigmatized male emotion so much in the wider social context of the West. We now encourage men to open up, to share how they're feeling, and this has a really positive impact on decreasing male depression rates, male suicide rates. I'm not saying that there isn't any stigma still attached to male emotions. There definitely is, and I'm going to discuss that later. And there's obviously a lot more work that can be done. But on the whole, I think we're moving in a positive direction. When men are in touch with their emotions and comfortable sharing those emotions with other people, that is really positive for their mental health. And so I encourage you as a man to increase your emotional self-awareness and create relationships in your life where you can talk about your feelings in a safe and constructive environment. However, I'm not going to lie to you. There is a danger that emotional displays are going to make you less attractive to women. I take no joy in saying this, but I'm trying to give it to you straight. As a man, you are caught between a rock and a hard place. The end goal here is, of course, for you to be happy, for you to be at peace. But the question is, what path do you take to get there? Being successful with women, being in a relationship with a high quality woman is going to bring you happiness. Likewise, sharing your emotions with other people is going to relieve feelings of depression and isolation. That's going to bring more inner peace and eventually happiness. Now, it sucks because those two things are often in conflict. And so, what are you meant to do? You can go to a woman and express all of your emotions and unburden yourself, and you're likely, if she's a nice woman, to get compassion. And that's a great thing, but it also means that you're more likely to get placed in the friend zone. Or you can choose the second option, which is to keep all of those emotions to yourself. Carry that as a secret burden, which of course sucks because you have to carry that in isolation when you so desperately want to express yourself, but it does mean that you're probably going to be more attractive to women. So which option are you going to choose? Are you going to choose emotional intimacy and just give up being romantically attractive? Or are you going to be romantically attractive to women and miss out on all the emotional intimacy? Luckily, I think that there is a compromise, but let me first tell you that I don't think that this is perfect. In an ideal world, you could be as vulnerable and as emotional as you would like to be, as much as feels authentic to you, and not lose any attraction from women. But this is not an ideal world. This is reality, and your path is going to involve some compromise. So while this isn't perfect, I believe that what I'm about to suggest is the best that you can hope for. I want you to understand that when sharing an emotion with another person, it can come in two different packages. There's emotion plus independence, and there is emotion plus codependence. You can say to a woman, I've been really depressed this week. I've been feeling really down about myself. A bunch of old insecurities have resurfaced, but I'm working through it. I'm learning about myself, learning new strategies for how to navigate my emotions. Now, what you've just heard there are emotions, real, honest, vulnerable emotions about your depression, but it's come packaged in independence. You are sharing what your emotional burdens are, but at all times you retain your independence. You're not asking her to share those burdens with you. Compare that to a display of emotions that comes packaged with codependence. I've been really depressed this week. I've just been feeling really down about myself. I've had all these old insecurities resurface. I don't know what to do. You need to help me. Please make all of this go away. Those are the same honest, vulnerable emotions, but when spoken like that, it's clear that you are asking her to share in that emotional burden. The emotions are the same, but they come with a completely different set of expectations. Now, guess what? Women absolutely hate to be codependent with a man's emotions. They absolutely hate it. Nothing is going to dry up attraction faster than being codependent with your emotions. Women do not want to mother their boyfriends. That's not why they got into a relationship with a man. They're looking for independence, security, leadership. And if all the time he's looking to her for stability and support, then she's thinking, well, what's the point of this guy? He's clearly not fulfilling the masculine role that made me attracted to him in the first place. If you start making the woman responsible for your emotions, she's not going to be attracted to you. At that point, you're going to feel like a burden to her. But do you see the nuance here? Because she's not really rejecting the emotions. Of course, it's not ideal from her perspective that you're depressed. She'd probably rather that you're confident and enthusiastic about life. But if she's a sweet, kind, feminine, high-quality woman, she's going to care about you and she's going to care about what emotions you're going through. But if you lose your independence and you are actively making your problems her problems, don't be surprised if she just cuts you off. She might keep you around as a friend in the same way that she interacts with her female friends, but if you are hoping to be her romantic partner, forget it. She is a woman and she was biologically gifted with an abundance of options in the dating market. With so many viable choices of men out there, why would she settle for a man who hasn't even taken responsibility for his own emotions? It's not as simple as saying that women don't like any male emotions. That's just outright not true. Women need to know that men have an emotional side because that's part of what reassures them that the man is going to be a good father. But if you think that you can be codependent with your emotions in a woman, forget it. So this is the path forward, and I wouldn't recommend sharing any emotions with a woman when you're still in the initial attraction phase of a relationship. Keep things fun, lighthearted, flirtatious, and a bit mysterious. The emotional stuff is all going to come later once she is committed to you, but your first priority has to be to make sure that she is attracted to you. It's once you're in a committed relationship with a woman that it's now safe to begin exploring and expressing some of your emotions. Just make sure you're never doing it in a codependent way. So finally, some people might say to me, but Alex, neediness is my authentic emotion. I want a woman to take care of me. Are you saying that I can't ever be myself in a relationship? I'm saying that if that's where you're at, you are not ready for a relationship. You need to sort yourself out first, because the truth is that romantic relationships are hard. They are difficult to navigate. They require huge amounts of honesty and intimacy. In order to really have a healthy and functional relationship with another person, as an individual, you need to have reached a certain level in your own personal evolution. It is a minimum requirement that you're able to take responsibility for your own emotions before you're ready for a relationship with another person. So sort yourself out first. You don't need to be perfect. Part of being in a relationship is that you can support each other to become the best versions of yourselves, but you do need to have reached a certain level of independence and responsibility. If you haven't reached that stage, honestly, it's better to just remain single. Work on yourself, because if you bring that kind of codependence and neediness to a relationship, that's when things become toxic. That's when things become abusive, and you just want to avoid all of that. Did you know that only about 60% of my content actually makes it here to YouTube? All of my other videos are pasted on my Patreon page. In my latest video, I explore what some people have pointed out is a possible contradiction in my theories, because on the one hand, I'm always telling men to be independent, but I also talk extensively about what women find attractive. So which is it? Should you be independent, or should you be the person that women find attractive? Is there a contradiction there? In this video, I explore that possible contradiction and explain that if you look deeper, you'll see that there's absolute consistency. This video was inspired by a question I received from one of my patrons. So if you've had a question that you've always wanted to ask me, something you want me to make a video about, go ahead and sign up at my Patreon. Just $5 a month, you get access to all of my exclusive content, and it's a wonderful way to support the channel. I really hope to see you over there.